I might start speaking in tongues as well, so I'll do buy us some time. I can't do anything.
That's good to know.
Which is the worst thing to do.
Planning.
Coming from work.
What she's showing us.
That's correct. Yeah.
So you want to brush this through, don't you?
I need to make sure.
It would.
Comes down.
Yeah.
So good evening, councillors, staff and guests. It's wonderful to see you all here this evening for our annual statutory meeting of council. We've got some friendly faces in the audience tonight, which is terrific. So welcome to all of you. It's wonderful you could be here for this very important annual occasion. My name's Kelly Grigsby. I'm the CEO at Wyndham City Council. Item 1, councillors, is to appoint myself as the CEO as the temporary chair of tonight's meeting. As you may be aware, the mayoral term ceased this morning at 6 a.m. and today we need to nominate a temporary chair to be appointed until the mayor is elected this evening. The temporary chair will preside over the following agenda items: the opening prayer, the re-signing of the Councillor Code of Conduct 2017, the recognition to the outgoing mayor, the term of the mayor, the election of the mayor, congratulatory remarks to the mayor and also the mayoral response. Councillors, can I have a mover that council appoint myself as CEO as the temporary chair of this meeting until a mayor is elected? Thank you, Councillor Gibbons. Seconder?
Yep.
Councillor Hooper, thank you. Can I put this to a vote? All those in favour? Thank you, carried. In the spirit of reconciliation, before we begin this meeting, we acknowledge the Wadawurrung, Bunurong and Wurrung people of the Kulin Nations as the first custodians of the land on which Wyndham is being built. We pay our respects to their elders, both past, present and emerging, and all of those elders here this evening from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, both past and present. I ask you to stand now for the opening prayer. We pray for guidance in the Council's decision-making to achieve the best outcome for the people of Wyndham. Please be seated. So So a little bit of housekeeping before we get started tonight. Some of you will have seen the signs outside of the meeting room and also within the meeting room this evening in the council chamber advising that tonight's proceedings will be being filmed. So for those of you not wishing to be filmed, you just need to be aware that there is a camera operating. It's pointing in this direction, but there are requirements for us to have that filming of tonight's proceedings. So again, welcome everyone. It is terrific to see you all here. As most of you know, it is one of the most important meetings of the year. It's where council elects their mayor and their deputy mayor for the 12 months ahead. It's terrific to have the opportunity also to recognise the outgoing mayor and indeed the outgoing deputy mayor. So item 3 on the agenda, councillors, is the re-signing of the Councillor Code of Conduct. On February 7th, 2017, Council resolved to adopt the Councillor Code of Conduct, referred to as the Code, which addresses the good conduct and governance principles to which councillors are bound. Each year, councillors elect to re-sign the Code to reaffirm their commitment. Can I please have a mover, councillors, for the motion that councillors will re-sign and declare that they will abide by the Councillor Code of Conduct, dated the 7th of February 2017. Councillors, if I could have a mover, please. Councillor McAloney, and a seconder, Councillor Villagonzalo. I'll now put this to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. That motion is carried. I'll now move to the front of the room where we'll do this, so I'll call you up. So councillors, I'll read your names one by one and ask each of you to come up and sign the Councillor Code of Conduct. So firstly, the first councillor to sign this evening is Councillor Aaron Ahn, and I will need you to reconfirm, Councillor Ahn, up at the front here. Thank you. So, councillor, I just need you to read this out and then sign.
I, Aaron Ahn, hereby declare that I read the Councillor Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council adopted on the 7th February 2017 and declare that I will abide by this code.
Thank you, Councillor Ahn. Thank you, Councillor Ahn. I'll now call on Councillor Henry Barlow.
Thanks. I hereby declare that I have read the Councillor Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council, adopted on the 7th of February 2017, and declare that I will abide by this code.
Thank you, Councillor Barlow. I'll now call upon Councillor John Gibbons to sign the code.
I, John Gibbons, hereby declare that I have read the Council Code of Conduct and the Wyndham City Council adopted 7th of February 2017 and declare that I will abide by this code.
Thank you. Just sign here. Just wait for me to sign as well. Thank you, Councillor Gibbons. I'd now like to call upon Councillor Josh Gilligan.
I, Joshua Gilligan, hereby declare that I have read the Councillor Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council, adopted on the 7th of February 2017, and declare that I will abide by this code.
So just sign here and then just wait for me to sign as well. Thank you, Councillor Gilligan. I'd now like to call upon Councillor Tony Hooper to sign.
I, Tony Hooper, hereby declare that I have read the Councillor Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council adopted on the 7th of February 2017 and declare that I will abide by this code.
Thank you, Councillor Hooper. I'd now invite Councillor Heather Marcus to commit to the code. Thank you, Heather. Okay, so I need you to say your name and then read.
I hereby declare that I have read the Councillor Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council, adopted on the 7th of February 2017, and declare that I will abide by this code.
Just need you to sign here. Thank you, Councillor Marcus. I'll now invite Councillor Peter Maynard to the lectern. Sorry, I need you to say your name. Just read this part out.
I, Peter John Maynard, hereby declare that I have read the Councillor Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council adopted 7th February 2017 and declare that I will abide by this code.
So first you can write your first name here and then sign. Thank you. If you wait for me to sign. Thanks, Councillor Maynard. I'll now invite Councillor Kim McAliney to sign the code.
I, Kim McAliney, hereby declare that I have read the Council Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council, adopted on the 7th of February 2017, and declare that I will abide by this code.
Thanks, Councillor Kim McAliney. I'll now call upon Councillor Mayor Shaw to recommit to the code.
I, Councillor Mia Shaw, I declare that I have read the Council Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council adopted on 7 February 2017 and declare that I will abide by this code.
Thank you, Councillor Shaw. I'll now invite Councillor Walter Villagonzalo to reconfirm to the code.
I, Walter Villagonzalo, hereby declare that I have read the Council Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council adopted on 7 February 2017 and declare that I will abide by this code.
Thank you, Councillor Villagonzalo. And finally, I'd like to call upon Councillor Intaj Khan to sign the code.
I hereby declare that I have read that Council Code of Conduct for Wyndham City Council adopted on 7th of February 2017 and declare that I, as Intaj Khan, will abide this Code of Conduct.
Thank you, Councillor Khan. And thanks very much for that, councillors. It's an important process that we do need to go through each year. So that concludes our signing ceremony of the Council Code of Conduct this evening. I will ask that we remain seated for the next item because I'd like to pay recognition to the outgoing Mayor. So the next part of this meeting really celebrates the achievements over the last 12 months of the Mayor, Councillor Mayor Shaw. So I would ask Mayor Shaw to join me at the lectern, please. Councillor Shaw, I'd like to present this to you. It's a really special medallion that recognises your significant contribution during your mayoralty over the last 12 months. And I will say a few words in a moment, but we've got some flowers for you as well. On behalf of council officers and also the broader organisation, it's a real privilege for me to talk about the achievements of Councillor Mayor Shaw as Mayor over the last 12 months. Mayor's had a terrific year as Mayor and certainly started running and hasn't really stopped for 12 months. And she's certainly, as our Mayor, had council officers and all of us on our toes, really making a difference in the local community. I think that there are some really key achievements that stand out, though, that we do need to focus on tonight. And I think, you know, there's definitely, firstly, the passion that you have for Wyndham City Council, your history here, having grown up in the city, and, you know, your passion for the history of the city, but also for what's to come and planning for future generations. Your commitment to your family-friendly portfolio has been outstanding, and as the Mayor, you've championed a lot of really important policy work in that space, as well as ensuring that we have terrific parks and open spaces, and you've led that, not only in your time as Mayor over the last 12 months, but certainly in your term to date as a councillor, which has been really important community work and I know very much appreciated. I'd also like to acknowledge the amount of schools you visited across the municipality as well. And I think that's been so important to remind, children and include local government as, the important level of government that it is to community, and sharing your role as mayor and spending that time with the school community, I think has been incredibly important. And you've managed to get across to most of the schools across the city, over 30, which is amazing, in 12 months. So I think that's been terrific as well. You've also hosted a range of really important events to celebrate the level of volunteering within the city, to celebrate the history of the city with key service organisations, as well as business community and other new and emerging communities across the city as well, which has been terrific. I just think the other main highlight that I really wanted to highlight tonight was your steadfast approach to advocating to the state government around the retention of the Glen Devon site for community use, and that's been a really important council's campaign around investment in public places for people, but also how you've worked in partnership with council officers and your councillor colleagues around advocating for Wyndham's fair share and ensuring that we are securing Wyndham's future over, the course of future generations. So that work's been incredibly important. It's been a privilege to have worked with you as the CEO, and I know you'll continue to make a huge difference on council for the remaining 12 months. So congratulations, Mayor.
So I suppose my turn to say a few words. Thank you, Kelly, for those lovely words. I actually didn't think I'd get that emotional tonight, but it's been so wonderful to represent, the city that I grew up in at this level, and I couldn't have done it without you and, your team that sits over here, the support team that sits over here, and of course my councillor colleagues as well. Lots of support from residents. It's truly been amazing. I've absolutely loved it. I remember sitting here 12 months ago, quite nervous and excited about what the possibilities were. And it is hard to believe that 12 months has gone that fast. It really has flown along. And I do say to our new incoming mayor to make the most of those opportunities, because I remember when I stepped first into the mayoral office, and Anna, and there'll be some of you that know Anna very well, she's been at council here for many, many years, supporting many mayors, and she said to me, Mayor, let's get started because your mayoral year will fly, and that's absolutely what it did. So thank you to you, your team, thank you to everyone here, thank you to residents, my family in particular, because I couldn't have done that without them, of course. So thank you, it's been an honour, and I look forward to continuing to serve for another 12 months. Thank you.
Thank you for that, councillors. It's also fitting to acknowledge... Yes, that's what I was just about to do.
Sorry, can I quickly do that?
Of course you can.
I just made it all about me. I do want to take the opportunity to thank Deputy Mayor Councillor John Gibbons. He's been an absolutely amazing support, and many of you will know that he has served our community for many, many years, and I couldn't have done the job without him. He's been absolutely fantastic. Johnny, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you also, Councillor Gibbons, from the officers. It's been terrific working with you over the last 12 months also. So, councillors, we'll now move to one of the most important items of this evening, and of course that is, in fact, the election of the mayor for the next 12 months. There are a couple of procedural motions, councillors, that I just need to talk you through before we actually do get into the nominations for mayor, so I'll ask for your forbearance as we go through those. As provided by Section 71(2) of the Local Government Act 1989, Council may elect a mayor for a term of 1 or 2 years. Even though this is the last year of the 4-year council term, for clarity, could I please have a motion to determine that the term of the mayor will indeed be for 1 year? So if I could please have a mover to say that we have a mayoral term to move for a full term of office. Could I have a mover to that effect? Councillor Maynard. Seconder? Councillor Aranan. Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you, councillors. That is moved. So now, councillors, we move to the formal part of the voting or the election process this evening. So that is item 6 of the agenda for those of you who are following along in the gallery. It is, as I mentioned before, the most important part of this evening's meeting, and it is officially the election of the mayor for the 2019-2020 year. In conducting the election this evening, I draw your attention to the mayoral election procedure as outlined in the Governance Local Law at Clause 8. I will take this opportunity to remind councillors that when voting, you must put your hand up clearly in the air, and I will run this process rather slowly. So bear with me. I just need to make sure that I have captured everyone's vote as we go through. So you must put your hand up clearly in the air. The councillor with the majority of votes will be declared elected. So as soon as we have that majority, I will be declaring that person, that councillor elected. If there's an equality of votes, a lot using ping pong balls will be required, and for those of you who have served on previous terms, you'll be familiar with that process having been undertaken before. So we will not necessarily need that, but the provision is there if indeed that situation occurs this evening. So without further ado, councillors, I now call for nominations for the election to the office of the Mayor of Wyndham City Council for the period of 2019-2020. Councillors, do I have a nomination? Councillor Kim McEloney.
Thank you, Madam CEO. I'd like to nominate Henry Barlow, Councillor Henry Barlow.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Tony Hooper. Councillor Barlow, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Thank you. Councillors, do I have any further nominations? Councillor Marcus.
Thank you, Madam CEO. I would like to nominate Councillor Josh Gilligan to the office of the Mayor of the City of Wyndham.
Thank you, councillor. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Intaj Khan. Councillor Gilligan, do you accept the motion?
I do.
Thank you. Do I have any further nominations for the Mayor? No. Okay, thank you. Councillors, we've received 2 nominations for the Mayor. I'll now conduct the election with 2 nominations. All those in favour of the first councillor nominated, Councillor Henry Barlow, please raise your hands. Thank you, councillors. We have 4 votes in favour of Councillor Barlow. All those in favour of the second councillor nominated, Councillor Josh Gilligan, please raise your hands. Thank you, councillors. We have 7 votes in support of Councillor Josh Gilligan. We have an absolute majority, and therefore I declare Councillor Josh Gilligan Mayor of the Wyndham City Council for 2019-2020. Congratulations. I would now like to invite the newly elected mayor to be robed with the mayoral robe and chain of office, and then we will proceed to the centre table for you to read aloud and sign the mayoral affirmation of office.
I'm advised it's been tried.
Councillors, our newly elected mayor, Councillor Josh Gilligan, will now read the declaration, or the mayoral affirmation, rather.
Thanks so much, Kelly. I, Joshua Luke Gilligan, accept and undertake the duties of Mayor, Wyndham City Council, for the agreed term of 1 year, commencing this day. I understand that I have been elected by my fellow councillors as the leader of the council and chief advocate for the Wyndham community to take precedence at all municipal proceedings with a commitment to inclusiveness and the support of my fellow councillors. In accepting this responsibility, I will uphold Council's values of community focus, commitment, integrity, leadership, respect and teamwork. Further, I subscribe to and pledge my commitment to the role of the Mayor in supporting the Councillor Code of Conduct and the principles of the governing Wyndham framework, including governing for and with the community, promoting collaboration between the council, its staff and the community, supporting the provision of procedural fairness in decision-making, providing guidance and support to all of my fellow councillors, ensuring respectful conduct and a high standard of debate at council meetings, and collaborating with the CEO to support resolution of disputes internally. In making this undertaking, I call on my fellow councillors to offer me their support and counsel.
So, councillors, I'll now hand over to our new mayor to resume proceedings.
All right. I now invite any councillors to speak who would like to congratulate the new mayor on his or her election.
I'm sorry, I should have done that before.
Does it ever?
We're off to a good start.
We are indeed.
So those who would like to speak in support of the mayor, thank you.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you, Mayor Gilligan, and thank you, Kelly. Josh, I've watched you grow over the last 3 years, and I have to say that I am very, very impressed with you. I've been around this city for 50 years this year, and my ex-husband was a councillor and also a shire president, and then I've been lucky enough to be here on this council for the last 14 years. So as a very young man, I'm very, very proud of you. And I know that you will be a wonderful advocate for this city. As the Learning City portfolio holder, Josh, you demonstrated to us what you are capable of, and you are truly passionate about something, and I am looking forward to seeing you and what you will achieve in this year as the Mayor. During your time on council, you have successfully prosecuted issues on behalf of the community, particularly in the areas of the kindergarten access, funding for schools, and your favourite, harm minimisation when it comes to gambling. As a serving board member of the Municipal Association of Victoria, you have fulfilled this role and represented Melbourne's West with great enthusiasm. And I know you will do the same during your term as our Mayor. Your work alongside Wyndham's young people has been invaluable, and I truly believe that the perspective you will bring to the role will be fantastic for this city, given we are home to so many young people. And as we all know, I think we're up to about 80 babies a week being born, and they're all going into kinders and then into our schools, which we have many. So I look forward to working alongside you in these roles. As a city, we know we have many challenges, and you have demonstrated a real empathy with what is important to young working families living in our community. And I know you will continue to do this in your role as the Mayor. Josh, I've never been so happy. Yesterday, my son was admitted to the bar. Today, you're like my son, and I am so proud that you have been named the Mayor for this coming year. Josh, congratulations and well done.
Thank you,
Any other speakers who'd like to congratulate Josh before we hear from our new Mayor? Councillor Aranan.
Thank you, Madam CEO, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we all know, Wyndham is one of the fastest growing municipalities in Australia, and also has one of the youngest communities in Victoria, just after the city of Melbourne. So we are facing a lot of challenges, particularly infrastructure investment for basic public community facilities and services in newly developed estates. As Councillor Marx mentioned, that it is important that we have a young and energetic mayor like you, Josh, who worked very hard for this fast-growing city. And I'm looking forward to working with you and all other fellow councillors to continue deliver great outcomes to our residents. Congratulations, Josh.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, councillors. Are there any other speakers? Councillor Intaj Khan.
Madam CEO. I'm sorry, I was thinking. And congratulations, Josh, that you've taken a very responsive role. We have worked with you last 3 years and seen that you have done your portfolio very well, and hope so you work, as Councillor Ahn have said, that now the city faces many challenges, such as the transport is key issue here, and some of those might delay today, just have witnessed that, and is sort of unavoidable. But I think so now you work hard for the city, which is facing the big challenges, problem, tarnet car parking, and is a road need to have the widenings, and the traffic is crazy here. So I hope so, and you have energy, you can do that. We have a confidence. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Councillor Khan.
Thank you, Councillor Khan. And Councillor Mayor Shaw.
Thank you, Madam CEO. And Josh, if you've impressed Councillor Marcus, I think you are absolutely doing something right, let me tell you. That is a very high bar, let me tell you. So congratulations to you. It is a great honour to do this role, and I know that you will do it well, and you will do it with passion. Some might say you've got big shoes to fill. But in all sincerity, I wish you all the very best, and you have my full support. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Mayor.
A round of applause, councillors, for our new Mayor, Councillor Josh Gilligan. Before I do hand over the chair officially to the Mayor, I now invite Mayor Councillor Josh Gilligan to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Madam CEO, and thank you to my fellow councillors and also the Chafee Ward residents for placing their support and trust in me. I want to particularly thank and recognise the outgoing Mayor, Councillor Mayor Shaw, and all you've achieved in this mayoral year. Mayor, you have truly set the bar for what our community should expect from a mayor: progressive, vibrant and a fresh face in a city that is experiencing rapid change. You've achieved much, but I suspect your greatest achievement will be knowing that your son, Gus, will be able to say to his friends in the times to come, "My mum did this for our community." Ladies and gentlemen, I am incredibly humbled and honoured to be the 17th mayor of this great, vibrant and diverse city, the third fastest growing city in the nation. Because of what we voted for on this night, in this moment and this election, history has been made. We've sent a powerful message to young people right across our city that says that you can make it if you try. That a boy who grew up in country Victoria, population 2,500, could go on to be elected and to lead a city of over 250,000 people as its youngest ever mayor. It doesn't get more exciting than that. And as we edge closer to 1,100 days since our election in 2016, we've all got a lot to be proud of. We're the engine room of Melbourne's West, driven by population and investment, with $2.2 billion of building approvals in Wyndham last financial year alone, second only to the Melbourne CBD. Even more remarkable is that we're on track for 500,000 people living in our city by 2041. The greatest challenge for our council and for us moving forward is how we build a sustainable city, one that galvanises mobility not just in cars and congestion, but through our rail corridors, making trackless trams a reality and investing in integrated cycling and walking trail networks. We need a sustainable city that ensures that there are local jobs for local people across all occupations. To back working people in this city is to give families and individuals the best chance to live healthy and productive lives. And we will never accept the notion that we will just become a city of housing. This can be no clearer in the decisions that we're making this council term. Whether it's our projects such as the $200 million A-League Stadium in Tarneit or our transformation in the Werribee CBD, we are pushing the boundaries of what is possible in local government more than ever before. And most excitingly, our residents are overwhelmingly backing our push to evolve from the notion of rates, roads and rubbish to achieve a higher functioning form of government in our city for the people. We need to protect our knowledge economy in our agricultural parts of our city like Werribee South and strengthen our focus on urban amenity by creating cleaner and more active neighbourhoods that will make us the most livable city we can be. We need to do all of this because we recognise that our state and federal counterparts will not be the answer to all of our woes. And whilst we'll call on them to do their fair share, we know that our city will always have to fight hard for the things we need and deserve. These are the challenges ahead, and I look forward to working with our community as our mayor, alongside my councillor colleagues, as we enter the final year of this council term. Finally, you don't get to make it this far through the trials and tribulations of public life without friends and loved ones to assist you along the way. To my family, to Sam, my mum, Tanya, my father, Colin, and my sisters, Chloe and Christy, I say thank you for your support. I want to recognise Uncle Brian and my aunties, Joanne and Pauline, who have travelled here tonight, and I'm greatly appreciative of your support. To some of my most trusted friends who are here tonight, to Tully Smith, to Jasvinder Sidhu, and to Mary Lalios, your wise counsel and support has been invaluable over these years. To Senator Raf Ciccone and Bastian Simraj, who I know are watching this due to the Senate sitting in Parliament in Canberra, I know our governance team will be thrilled to know that you're increasing our online view count, and I appreciate you tuning in tonight. To conclude, I ran for council in 2016 because I believed that I could bring a fresh and generational change to the way we do things in our city. And all of us are elected to this place, good fortune, with one fundamental goal in mind: to build a city that our friends, our family and our community can be proud to call home. I believe I have a strong track record of delivering on a strong and progressive set of reforms these past 3 years that put ratepayers, families and individuals in our city first. And I can promise you that as our mayor, I will work tirelessly to be a fierce advocate and campaigner for our city and to work with my colleagues as well as the CEO to finish the work we've started in this, our final year of our council term. Thank you everybody for coming tonight. Okay, the next item on the agenda is item 9, which is the appointment of the Deputy Mayor for the 2019-20 year. In accordance with the governance local law, we need to resolve to appoint a Deputy Mayor for the 2019-20 year, as this is not a statutory position and is optional under the Act. After we resolve to appoint a Deputy Mayor for the coming year, I will then call for nominations to the positions. Councillors, can I have a mover for the motion to appoint a Deputy Mayor for the term of 1 year, please? Councillor Khan, and I'll take Councillor Hooper as the seconder. Okay, we'll put that to a vote now. All those in favour? Okay, unanimous. Thank you. Carried. I now call for nominations for the election of Deputy Mayor for the 2019-20 mayoral year. Councillors, do I have a nomination? Councillor Hooper.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to nominate Councillor Peter Maynard.
Thank you, Councillor Hooper. Do I have a seconder for that nomination? Councillor Barlow. Councillor Maynard, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Thank you. Is there any other nominations for the office of Deputy Mayor? Councillor Walter Villagonzalo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to nominate Councillor John Gibbons.
Thank you very much, Councillor Villagonzalo. Do I have a seconder for that? Thank you very much, Councillor Aaron Arn. Okay. As we've received 2 nominations for the positions, we'll now move to conduct an election with these nominations. Of course we do. Good point. Councillor Gibbons, do you agree? Good to hear. I do. Okay. I missed a third. So just to clarify, we have Councillor Maynard and Councillor Gibbons that have nominated for the office of Deputy Mayor. Thank you. As there are 2 nominations, we will therefore proceed to a vote. As Councillor Maynard was first nominated, we will commence with Councillor Maynard. So therefore, I ask all councillors that are in favour of voting for Councillor Maynard, please raise your hands. Okay, I will count that as 5 votes. Thank you. All those in favour of the second councillor, Councillor Gibbons, please raise your hands. 3, 4, and I'm also voting for Councillor Gibbons. As there are 6 votes, I declare Councillor Gibbons elected the Deputy Mayor for the 2019-20 mayoral year. Congratulations, Councillor Gibbons. I now invite any councillors who would like to speak to offer their congratulations to the Deputy Mayor.
Call for division, Mr. Mayor.
You can call for a division, no problem, Councillor Maynard. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll commence a division. So we'll go back and we'll start with Councillor Maynard. All those in favour of Councillor Maynard, please raise your hands. Okay, we have Councillor McElhinney, Councillor Maynard, Councillor Shaw, Councillor Barlow, and Councillor Hooper. Excellent. All those in favour of Councillor Gibbons, please raise your hand. Councillor Gibbons, Councillor Villagonzalo, Councillor Gilligan, Councillor Marcus, Councillor Arn, Councillor Khan. As that is 6 votes, Councillor Gibbons is declared elected. I would now like to invite any councillors who would wish to offer their congratulations to the Deputy Mayor. And I think you had the call. Thanks, Councillor Villagonzalo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to congratulate Councillor John Gibbons being elected as Deputy Mayor. I nominated Councillor Gibbons because he did a very good job as the deputy last year, and we're delighted that he can continue his good work in combination with our young mayor. So we've got youth and experience that we have elected tonight. So congratulations, John.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Villagonzalo. Is there any other speakers for Councillor Gibbons? Councillor Shaw.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr Mayor. John, congratulations. You've been, as I said earlier, you've been a wonderful Deputy Mayor, and I have no doubt you will be also to Councillor Gilligan. So congratulations to you and for your continued great service in this community. Well done.
Thank you very much, Councillor Shaw. Is there any other speakers for Councillor Gibbons' election? No? Well, I'll take the brief opportunity to congratulate you, Gio, and look forward to working with you over the course of the next year as we head into the general election. So well done. Okay, we'll now move on to the next item, which is item 11, and that is councillor appointments to advisory committees. As seen in the document, there are a number of committees which require councillor representation. A list of those committees have been circulated as part of the agenda for this meeting. Councillors, can I please have a mover for the item? Councillor McElhinney, do I have a seconder? 3. Councillor Hooper, done. Anybody wish to speak in relation to the item? No? Okay, I'll now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. As there are no further items for tonight, I declare the meeting closed at 7:49. And once again, thank you to everybody for coming, and I invite you to enjoy the refreshments here this evening. Thank you.
You'll pay me back.